Hey, what's up, everybody? So we're here doing another pin tonight. This is one of my favorite pins because you can just take a plain old pine cone that we can find here in the South all over the place and turn it into a really, really cool pin. So hopefully this will go well. But we've got a pin blank with some blue and white mixture with the pine cone inside of it. Going to be putting it on an Aston Martin fountain pen in chrome, so I believe it's going to turn out really nice. So let's go ahead and get it started. Alright, so like normal, we're going to get our mandrel put in. And then our first bushing here. That bushing goes on. So this is going to be our cap piece here. And then below it, there's our actual pin piece there. Just make a little bit of adjustment here so you can see a little better. And we'll get everything in place. Tightened up and locked down. Kind of see what we're dealing with there. So I will say that these can be interesting. They can be one of the funnest pins to make, but they can be quite aggravating because oftentimes the epoxy is not penetrated into the pine cone completely and it can cause a lot of voids. So this type of pin is pretty easy to blow up on us and explode. And sometimes we'll get some voids and we can fill that with some different things and go from there. But let's get it started and see what we come up with. right, now that we're getting it rounded a little bit, thought I'd give you a sneak peek of what we're looking at. So you can see the pine cones coming out in it real well. I think it's going to be really cool looking. So far so good, no major voids or anything like that I can see, so turning well. So let's keep shaping it down. Alright, I think we got about the shape that I'm looking for here. I really don't see too many voids. Now I will say this, we've got a flat spot on this side, which basically means everything's not been completely rounded. So we're going to have to cut this one down just a little bit more to get that flat spot out. Just a little bit of it left there. So the good news and the bad news, we got our flat spot out, but in doing that, we got this a little bit thinner than I anticipated, and we've got a little small blowout at the very end right here. So there's ways we can fix that. And probably the easiest way at this point is we're going to do some super gluing into that and add a little bit of epoxy into it and see what happens. we're just taking some of our epoxy scraps. I'm going to just kind of layer it in just a little bit. Hopefully we can salvage that. Certainly not the way I would have wanted it to turn out, but maybe we can salvage it to still look pretty good. So we're going to hit that with a little bit of accelerant. Get that to harden up. And then we're going to need to return this. Let's see, let's just put a little bit more glue on that to smooth it out nice. There's a couple little rises in it that we'll add some more. So it is not exactly the way I would have wanted it, but I don't think it's going to look too bad at all. So we're going to keep pushing forward here. So everything's looking pretty decent. So let's go ahead and get to the sanding. All right, here we go. It is smelling a whole lot like pine cone. We're just stepping through each grit of sandpaper here. I started with 220 on this, which is probably a little low, but wanted to make sure I got the shape I was looking for out of it. And I'll go all the way up to 1200 on this on my dry sandpaper, and then we'll wet sand. It's already getting a pretty nice shine to it, so I think it's going to look really good. Yeah, looking cool. Alright, so looking pretty good. We're going to go ahead and go into wet sand. There's some theories on this on whether or not you should wet sand anything with wood, and because this is a pine cone, it technically does have some wood in it. But I'm going to go ahead and wet sand this just to see what it does to it, and kind of go from there. just kind of check on it, but I believe we're going to be just fine wet sanding this and it turned out pretty. Going through the grits on the sandpaper here, doing the final wet sands. Then we'll be getting ready for the assembly process. We're at our blue level here. And lastly is going to be our white level. Looking nice, looking nice. So what I'm going to do here, a little different than my normal finishing process. I'm actually going to add some boiled linseed oil, it's called. We refer to it in the turning community as blow, B-L-O. It is boiled linseed oil. We're going to shine it and buff it a little bit with it. Look at that, nice pretty shine on that. It's going to look really cool put together, I believe. Alright, so we're going to break it apart here. Now one thing I need to do, because I added a lot of super glue down here at the tip, so I'm going to go ahead and part this tip off just so I don't run into any issues. have our mandrel stuck in there. Wow, it's stuck in pretty good. Shouldn't be nothing a couple taps with a hammer can't handle. So that's what this tool is used for. If any of your turners ever get into this and wonder what in the world's that used for, there you go. Alright, so there's our blank. There's our second piece of the blank. And let's find that mandrel we lost. Alright, so let's pull back out our pieces here. Get ready to press this together. So I get a lot of questions on these fountains. And there's several different kinds of fountain tips that are out there. I personally like these the best. So the way these basically work is it's got a little spring. I don't know if you can see that or not. Got a little spring that is inside there. And there's a plunger system. And so, get in close, you can see that plunger move up and down. So what happens is once the pen's complete, you dip your pen into the ink that you're wanting to ink it with. Use this plunger system to fill it up. I like that because it seems like it works much better than some of the pre-filled cartridges that are out there for fountains. But secondly, you can change up your ink colors. And to me, that's really cool because there's some pens I may want blue ink in one day, and then the next day I change it and put in orange or red or something like that. So I like to be able to have that flexibility. All right, we're going to press in our first piece here and go from there. Tip piece has been pressed in, so we're good there. Second piece we need is going to be the back side of it. So there's our backside put in. And somebody asked me the other day, I believe it was TS, but somebody asked me the other day, said, hey, what are you going to do when you press these in? Do you have some type of machine or something like that you're using? And no, actually all it is just a press, just a bench style press that I utilize, and so works pretty well. I'm going to use this one on that side. So we're going to press the clip and also the bottom part of the cap in next. right, so cap is put together, looking good here. So just going to load this in, as we won't put ink in it until it sells. This is going to go into our pin piece. And voila, we have got the pin made just like that. Put it back together, and this is what we look like in the end results. Awesome looking pin there. So made out of pine cone. So it will be listed up on Etsy for sale. If you're interested in it, feel free to reach out to me and let me know. We'll probably call this Snowy Mountains, and it'll be listed up there along with some of the other pins that we have. So thanks for watching, guys. And if you got any questions or anything like that, feel free to reach out to me and we'll be glad to answer.